It's late again. You're lying there in the dark, listening to the hum of the fridge, maybe the clock ticking in the next room. You've done all the right things, turned off the screens, drank your tea, maybe even tried melatonin. But here you are, staring at the ceiling, hoping this night won't turn into another long, restless wait for morning. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. After 60, sleep changes. It becomes lighter, more fragile, and sometimes feels completely out of reach. Many people chalk it up to age or stress, or worse, they think there's nothing they can do except rely on sleeping pills or just deal with it. But what if the answer isn't in another bottle or supplement? What if one of the most calming, sleep-supporting tools was something already sitting in your fridge, a simple, familiar green that most of us overlook? I'm talking about spinach. Not as a salad topping or side dish, but as a purposeful, gently prepared evening habit. When paired with the right ingredients, spinach can help calm your nervous system, support melatonin production, and give your body the signal it needs to rest naturally. In this video, I'll show you how. 4 easy, comforting ways to use spinach before bed, no hype, just real support backed by nutrition science and made for real life. Let's begin. Part 1. Spinach is more than a green. It's a nighttime signal. Let's be honest, when you think about fixing your sleep, spinach is probably the last thing on your mind. Sleep problems feel complex, frustrating, and deeply personal. They're tied to everything from stress to age, from pain in the body to noise in the mind. And for many people past 60, the story is the same. Falling asleep is hard, staying asleep feels impossible, and waking up rested is something that rarely happens anymore. You've tried solutions. Maybe a glass of wine before bed, melatonin gummies, herbal teas with names like Sleepitime. Maybe even prescription sleep aids, which help for a while but often leave you feeling groggy, disconnected, or dependent. And somewhere deep inside, you may be wondering, is this just how it's going to be now? But what if there's a quieter path forward? One that doesn't rely on forcing your body to sleep, but instead helps it remember how to sleep. That's where spinach comes in. And no, this isn't some trendy, superfood hype or a miracle claim. It's simply about understanding what your body actually needs at night, and how this familiar green can help provide it in a way that's both natural and surprisingly effective. Spinach is more than a leafy vegetable. It's a collection of signals your body understands deeply. Inside every leaf are nutrients your nervous system has relied on for decades. Magnesium, folate, iron, vitamin B6, vitamin C. As we age, we often stop absorbing and storing these as effectively. That shift, slow, silent, and easy to overlook, can disrupt the very foundation of our sleep cycles. Spinach, when eaten intentionally, becomes more than food. It becomes a message to the body. You're safe now, it's time to rest. Magnesium is the most powerful example. This mineral is involved in over 300 reactions in the body, but at night it plays a particularly special role. Magnesium helps activate a neurotransmitter called GABA, which tells the brain to quiet down. Think of GABA as the natural dimmer switch for your thoughts. Without enough of it, the brain stays stuck in on mode, analyzing, replaying, worrying. You might be exhausted, but your mind won't let you fall into deep sleep. Spinach offers magnesium in a form that's easy for the body to use, especially when paired with the right foods. Then there's folate, also known as vitamin B9, which helps your body make serotonin, the neurotransmitter that makes you feel peaceful and emotionally grounded. From serotonin, the body then makes melatonin, your internal signal to begin the sleep cycle. But here's what's important. If you don't have enough folate, this entire chain reaction gets disrupted. You may feel tired but wired, emotionally flat but restless. Spinach contains a gentle, plant-based form of folate that supports this process without overstimulating the system. It's not about knocking you out, it's about bringing the body back into balance. Iron is another quiet but essential piece. The brain needs a steady supply of oxygen throughout the night, especially during the deep stages of sleep. When iron is low, as it often becomes in older adults, oxygen delivery suffers. The heart works harder. Breathing becomes shallower. You may wake up feeling like you've barely slept at all, even if you don't remember waking. Spinach, combined with a source of vitamin C like lemon or a few slices of fruit, helps the body absorb and use iron more effectively, especially in the evening when the brain is preparing for rest. Then we have vitamin B6, a humble yet vital nutrient that converts tryptophan into melatonin. Many people focus on eating more tryptophan-rich foods like turkey or eggs, but without B6, that process stalls. You might be eating well but still missing the key that turns food into rest. Spinach quietly supplies B6, especially when lightly cooked or blended with healthy fats. And don't overlook fiber. Blood sugar fluctuations are a hidden cause of night waking in older adults. When blood sugar drops too low or spikes too high during the night, the body responds by releasing stress hormones, waking you up suddenly and leaving you wondering why. The gentle fiber in spinach helps stabilize blood sugar, especially when paired with a bit of healthy fat or complex carbs. It keeps your body steady while you sleep. All of this sounds technical, but it's really simple. Your body knows what to do. It just needs the right signals at the right time. And spinach, humble as it is, happens to contain many of them in one place. This isn't about adding something new and complicated to your life. It's about returning to something deeply human, eating with purpose, choosing foods that speak to your biology, not just your taste buds. So the next time you find yourself staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., feeling tired but restless, remember, sometimes the body doesn't need to be silenced. It needs to be supported. And a small bowl of sautéed spinach, a simple soup, or a calming smoothie before bed might be the most powerful message you can send. I hear you. Let's rest now. Part 2: The Soothing Sleep Soup. Spinach plus silken tofu. Some nights, sleep doesn't just feel far away, it feels impossible. Your mind is tired, your body aches, but still, something inside won't settle. You may lie there wondering, did I eat too late? Did I eat too little? Was it what I ate? What many people don't realize is that the body speaks in subtle ways, and one of the clearest signals you can send it each evening, for better or worse, is what you put in your stomach before bed. For those over 60, the evening meal carries more weight than it once did. Our metabolism slows, digestion becomes more sensitive, and foods that once felt fine now linger uncomfortably. The solution isn't to skip dinner or eat less, it's to eat differently. That's where this simple, calming bowl of spinach and silken tofu comes in. It's more than soup. It's a message to your body that the day is done and it's time to let go. Tofu, especially the soft, silken kind, is gentle on the stomach yet deeply nourishing. It's naturally rich in tryptophan, the same amino acid found in turkey, known for making people feel sleepy after Thanksgiving dinner. But unlike heavy meats or greasy casseroles, tofu digests easily, especially when paired with the warmth of broth and the softness of cooked spinach. That matters. A calm digestive system supports a calm nervous system. And for many older adults, this connection between gut and brain becomes more important than ever. When tryptophan enters the bloodstream, the body uses it to build serotonin, which promotes a sense of peace and emotional safety. Later, as the evening deepens, serotonin converts to melatonin, the hormone that tells your brain it's time to sleep. But this process doesn't work well if your body is struggling with inflammation, blood sugar spikes, or hard-to-digest meals. The beauty of this soup is that it offers everything your sleep system needs, without any of the noise that often gets in the way. Spinach, as we've already seen, brings its own quiet power to the mix. Magnesium to relax muscles, folate to boost serotonin, iron to oxygenate the brain. And when gently simmered rather than overcooked or raw, spinach becomes soft, warm, and more digestible, especially for those with sensitive stomachs or acid reflux issues, which are common in later years. Now add a few slices of fresh ginger to the broth, not for spice, but for calm. Ginger warms the stomach, reduces inflammation, and helps the body feel centered. It's a traditional ingredient in many cultures for promoting evening comfort. When combined with silken tofu and spinach, it turns the soup into more than nourishment. It becomes a ritual, a pause, a gentle act of self-care. You don't need a long ingredient list. You don't need fancy seasonings or exact measurements. This dish is forgiving and intuitive, the kind of recipe that invites you to cook slowly, mindfully, without rushing. And that process in itself, standing at the stove, stirring quietly, smelling the soft aroma of greens and broth, is part of the rest your body is craving. Here's how you make it. Bring a small pot of water or light vegetable broth to a gentle simmer. Add a handful of chopped spinach and let it soften for just a minute or two. Then gently lower in a few slices of silken tofu. Don't stir too roughly, just let them warm and take on the flavor. Add 2 or 3 slices of fresh ginger and a small pinch of salt if needed. That's it. Serve warm, eat slowly. Let your body receive it like a lullaby. Now, let's talk about why this works. The warmth of the soup slightly raises your internal body temperature, which your brain recognizes as a cue to start cooling down afterward. That cooling process is linked to the body's natural sleep rhythm. At the same time, the lightness of the meal allows digestion to finish before you lie down, reducing bloating, heartburn, or middle-of-the-night discomfort. And perhaps most importantly, the nutrients inside this simple soup give your body the tools it needs to produce sleep, rather than forcing it to shut down unnaturally. We live in a culture that often encourages shortcuts, fast meals, fast fixes, fast sleep. But for those of us who have lived long enough to know better, there's a different kind of wisdom. The kind that comes from slowing down, listening in, and choosing what truly supports us. A bowl of spinach and tofu soup may not seem groundbreaking, but when prepared and eaten with intention, it becomes something much more powerful, a small, quiet promise to yourself that your rest matters. And maybe, after a week or so of choosing this kind of nourishment in the evening, you'll notice something shift. You might fall asleep more easily or sleep longer without waking. You might wake up with a little more clarity, a little less heaviness, not because you found the perfect pill, but because you gave your body the safety and support it needed to do what it already knows how to do. This isn't magic, it's care. And sometimes, that's the most powerful medicine of all. Part 3: The Nighttime Smoothie. Spinach plus pear plus walnuts. Not everyone wants to eat a full meal before bed. For some, even a bowl of soup feels too heavy late in the evening. But what happens when you go to bed with an empty stomach? For many older adults, it means waking up around 1 or 2 a.m., not because of noise, not because of worry, but because your body is running low on energy and quietly asking for support. That's where this nighttime smoothie comes in, light, gentle, and deeply nourishing in ways you may not expect. This isn't one of those sugary blends filled with protein powders or exotic ingredients you've never heard of. This is a simple, natural trio: spinach, pear, and walnuts. That's it. 3 whole foods working together to calm your nervous system, balance your blood sugar, and gently prepare your body for deep, restorative sleep. It's not a meal, it's more like a whisper to your system. You're okay now, it's time to let go. Let's start with pear. Soft, subtly sweet, and full of water, pear hydrates the body in a way that's easy and non-disruptive. Dehydration is an often overlooked cause of nighttime discomfort, dry mouth, leg cramps, or that vague restlessness that keeps you tossing under the covers. Pear also contains natural fiber, which helps keep blood sugar levels steady overnight, reducing the chance of those sudden drops that jolt you awake. And because it's so gentle on digestion, pear is ideal for sensitive stomachs. No bloating, no heaviness, no reflux. Next, walnuts. These little nuts are surprisingly powerful sleep allies. They're one of the few foods that naturally contain melatonin, the hormone your brain uses to regulate your sleep-wake cycle. Melatonin from walnuts doesn't overpower the system like supplements can. It works in sync with your body, offering just enough of a nudge to signal that it's time to wind down. Walnuts are also rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which help reduce inflammation and support brain health, two things that become increasingly important as we age. And just a small handful goes a long way. Their healthy fats help you feel satisfied without feeling full, just enough to soothe your system without overstimulating it. And finally, spinach. By now, you know how deeply supportive this green can be for sleep. Rich in magnesium, folate, and vitamin B6, spinach helps calm the nervous system, regulate serotonin and melatonin production, and support smooth digestion, all essential elements of a peaceful night's sleep. But in this smoothie, spinach takes on a new role. Blended raw, its nutrients remain vibrant and alive, offering a cooling, grounding effect that pairs beautifully with the softness of pear and the richness of walnuts. Together, these three ingredients create something more than a drink. They create a ritual, a signal to the body that the day is ending and it's time to release, to soften, to let the weight of everything begin to fall away. You don't need to make this complicated. Here's how to prepare it. Take 1 ripe pear, a small handful of baby spinach, about 1 cup, and 4 or 5 walnut halves. Add a splash of unsweetened almond milk or water, just enough to blend. If you like a little extra creaminess, you can add a few slices of avocado or a spoonful of chia seeds. Blend until smooth. That's it. Drink this about 60 to 90 minutes before bed, not right before you lie down. Give your body time to absorb the nutrients, to process the signal. It's not about immediate results. It's about building consistency, offering your body the right support over time so it begins to trust the rhythm again. What makes this smoothie powerful isn't just what's in it, it's what's not. No added sugar, no caffeine, no stimulants disguised as energy boosters. Just whole, familiar foods, the kind your body recognizes and welcomes. For people who have spent years trying product after product, pill after pill, it's often surprising how effective real food can be when it's used with care. And there's one more thing. This smoothie isn't just for sleep, it's also for comfort. For those quiet moments before bed when you're winding down, maybe reading, maybe reflecting on the day. It's something to look forward to, a moment that's yours. In a world that often moves too fast, that moment of preparation, of blending something by hand, of choosing nourishment instead of noise, that's a kind of medicine too. You don't need to do this every night. Start with twice a week. See how your body responds. Notice the difference not just in how you sleep, but how you feel when you wake up. More steady, more clear, less dragged down by the night. And if you feel that shift, even a small one, that's your body saying thank you. Sometimes, healing doesn't come from big, dramatic changes. It comes from the quiet things: a ripe pear, a handful of walnuts, a scoop of greens, and the choice to care for yourself a little more gently tonight. Part 4: 3 small tips to make spinach a true sleep support. By now, you've seen how spinach, something so simple, so familiar, can quietly support your body's natural rhythm and help guide you toward deeper, more restful sleep. But here's the truth. It's not just what you eat that matters. It's how and when you eat it that makes all the difference. You could have the most nutrient-rich ingredients in the world, but if your timing is off, your body is rushed, or your digestion is overwhelmed, the impact may not come through. So let's talk about the 3 small but powerful ways to make spinach truly work for your sleep. These aren't complicated tricks. They're quiet adjustments, gentle shifts that speak your body's language and help you turn ordinary habits into something deeply supportive. When used together, they make spinach not just healthy, but healing. 1. Eat it at the right time, not too early, not too late. Timing matters more than most people realize. Eat too close to bedtime, and your digestive system may still be busy when your brain is trying to wind down. Eat too early, and your body may run out of steady energy in the middle of the night, causing blood sugar dips that wake you up. The sweet spot, about 2 to 3 hours before bed. That gives your body enough time to digest gently and begin absorbing the nutrients, especially magnesium and tryptophan, that support sleep. It also gives your brain enough time to shift into nighttime mode, guided by the rise in melatonin production. So whether you choose soup, smoothie, or sautéed greens, aim for that window, not right before you brush your teeth, and not too soon after dinner. Let spinach become part of your intentional wind down, not a rushed afterthought. 2. Cook it gently, keep it light. What we do in the kitchen changes everything. The way we prepare spinach affects how well the body receives its nutrients and how easily it digests them. Overcooking destroys fragile vitamins like folate and B6, while undercooking or eating it raw can be too harsh for sensitive stomachs, especially at night. The solution: gentle cooking methods. Lightly steam it. Quick sauté with a teaspoon of olive oil. Add it to warm soup or blend it into a soft smoothie. These methods keep the nutrients alive while making the greens easier on your digestive system. Avoid heavy seasonings, butter, or too much oil, especially at night. This isn't about taste alone, it's about keeping the dish light so your body doesn't have to work hard to process it. The goal isn't to feel full, it's to feel soothed. 3. Pair it wisely, let it work in tandem. Spinach is strong on its own, but it becomes even more powerful when paired with the right partners. Think of it like a good duet, each ingredient brings out the best in the other. So what works well? Start with healthy fats, a few slices of avocado, a drizzle of olive oil, a spoonful of ground flaxseed. These help the body absorb fat-soluble vitamins in spinach, like vitamin K and E, which support brain function and hormone balance. Add in a source of tryptophan, silken tofu, almonds, walnuts, even a soft-boiled egg, to give your brain the building blocks it needs for serotonin and melatonin. Finally, don't forget a touch of natural sweetness if needed, a ripe pear, banana, or even a few berries, to round out the flavor and offer calming, steady energy without spiking blood sugar. These aren't strict rules, they're gentle reminders. When you slow down, listen to your body, and prepare your evening foods with care, something shifts. You begin to reclaim a sense of rhythm. You stop chasing sleep and start inviting it. And spinach, in its quiet, humble way, becomes more than a vegetable. It becomes a companion, one that helps you settle, feel grounded, and enter the night with less resistance and more trust. This isn't about perfection, it's about presence. If you forget one night, that's okay. If your soup is a little too salty or your smoothie ends up too thick, no need to get discouraged. You're not building a diet, you're building a relationship with your body again. And that takes time, kindness, and repetition. So tonight, maybe just start with one thing. Steam a small handful of spinach, add it to a calming meal, and give yourself that 2-hour window. Tomorrow, maybe blend a few greens into your smoothie and toss in a walnut or two. Each time you do, you're not just feeding yourself. You're reminding yourself that rest is possible, that sleep is something your body remembers how to do, and that even after all the sleepless nights, there's still a soft way forward. When it comes to sleep, we've been taught to look outside ourselves, to rely on pills, quick fixes, or hope that one day, the exhaustion will just pass. But what if sleep isn't something you have to chase anymore? What if it's something you can invite back, not with force, but with care? What we've explored together in this video isn't a trend or a theory. It's a quiet reminder of something your body already knows. That rest is natural, and healing doesn't always require something new. Sometimes, it just asks you to return to something simple. Spinach, a vegetable most of us have walked past in the grocery store 1,000 times, carries within it the very nutrients your nervous system craves. Magnesium to help your mind slow down, folate and B6 to restore the chemical rhythm of rest, iron and vitamin C to help your brain breathe more easily through the night. And when you pair it wisely with gentle proteins, calming fats, soft fruits, you create something more than food. You create a message, a signal, a soft yes to sleep. And that message, when delivered at the right time in the right way with the smallest bit of consistency, can bring back the kind of sleep that doesn't just last longer but feels better, calmer, more whole. You don't need to get it perfect. You don't need to change everything overnight. But maybe tonight, instead of reaching for the usual, you'll try a small bowl of spinach soup or a soft green smoothie with pear and walnut. Maybe you'll look at your evening meal not as a habit, but as an opportunity to rest before your head even touches the pillow. And maybe, slowly, gently, your body will begin to remember what deep sleep feels like again. If you've made it to this point in the video, thank you. Truly. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your openness. It means more than you know. I hope what we've shared here brings you a little peace, not just tonight, but in the many evenings ahead. Take good care of yourself. You deserve sleep that feels real. Sleep that restores not just your body, but your spirit. And it starts sometimes with something as simple as a leaf of spinach and a quiet decision to nourish yourself one evening at a time. Good night, and I'll see you in the next video.